Sorry about that, guys. Got a quick phone call. My apologies. So y equals, and again we have -1 plus -1 equaling a -2 divided by a +2, and that's going to be reducing down and equaling a -1. Now again, you should notice something here because, sorry, not y. That should be x because we were right here. Axis of symmetry. This -1, when plugged in right there, says -1 plus 1. What's that going to be? That's simply going to work out to be 0. So if you plug it in even down here, where you have a -1 plus 1, and then another -1 plus 1, -1 plus 1 is 0. 0 times 0 is still 0. So you're looking at y equals 0. Now, we have our x value, -1. We have our y value, 0. And a -1, comma 0 is your vertex. Alright, and if we want to go ahead and graph this out, we have our x-intercept is at -1, right there. And remember that there's only one x-intercept. And then the vertex is at -1, comma 0. So what does this tell you? This tells you that the vertex and the intercept are actually the same value. So it's going to create this downward facing graph. Now, how do I know that it's downward facing? Because this negative sign right here in front, we pulled out a negative, or it was given to us. But you could think through the trinomial. If you pull out a negative, there's a negative sign out here in front of the parentheses. That's the same thing as saying, remember, you have a -a. If you look back at those past videos, whenever a is a negative, it makes a downward frown shape facing parabola. All right. So that was number 2. Let's go ahead and take a look now at number 3. All right, number 3, y equals 2x squared minus 2x minus 12. Now this one, a little different. This is given to you as a trinomial. Now this is in the past sections, you'll see, oh, you should know how to graph this. However, you don't necessarily know fully how to get the x-intercepts. If you look back at those last 2 videos, those aren't going to show you how to get those x-intercepts. So, you got to remember, back at last chapter, we had to factor. You'll see, looking back, first step when you're factoring, try to find a common term. And this does have a common term, the number 2. Alright, so if we take out a 2, and then in parentheses we write x squared minus x minus 6, this is the trinomial that's left behind. Bring that 2 straight down, and now we can factor this trinomial. We're going to get a plus and a minus. The x squared breaks down here into x and x. We're looking at 6. We want factors of 6 that will equal a -1. Remember, we have opposite signs in here, so this is possible. So think about what makes 6, 3 and 2. 3 and 2 somehow could create a -1 if we put the -3 here and the +2 here. -3 plus 2 is -1. And -3 times +2 is -6. So we know that this works. Now, go back through and do the exact same steps that we've been doing. We're going to solve each of these guys here. So x plus 2 equals 0. X is -2. X minus 3 equals 0. X is 3. Okay? What did I just get here? I got my x-intercepts. Okay? Now, these x-intercepts we're going to use in the axis of symmetry equation. So we're going to say we have 2 plus 3 divided by 2. All right, so 2 plus 3 equaling 5 divided by 2, 5 over 2. Then we can take this value, go right back in, plug it in here and here. You're going to solve for y, and that's going to finish it out and give you your vertex. Okay? All right, so that pretty much covers everything up here. Wanted to kind of condense that video down a little bit for you guys, walk through those exact steps, and we'll see you in the next video. All right, God bless you guys.